Hi everybody, this is Maureen Wong for YourNextStamp.com. Today I'm going to be making this YNS Soy Awesome Card with some gold foiling and some products from Your Next Stamp. So let's get started. To start with, we're using the Soy Awesome set. There are also matching dies, but I'm not using the dies. Specifically, I'm using this soy sauce bottle and the YNS Soy Awesome sentiment. So first what I'm going to do is take out both stamps, and I'm only going to want to stamp my bottle first, but I want to make sure that it's arranged properly with enough room for the sentiment, so I'm going to lay down the sentiment as well just to make sure that's how I want them both. And then what I'm going to do is take off the sentiment once I'm done with this and just pick up the bottle with my MISTI cover. And of course, I always say you don't need a MISTI for this, but it really makes it a lot easier. And right there, I'm just lining it up with the grid, the laser grid on the cover to make sure everything is straight, although I didn't really need to do that with the sentiment because I'm not going to stamp it. But there we go, I removed the sentiment and now I'm picking up the bottle with my MISTI cover. And because I'm going to be stamping with, or coloring with Copics, I'm going to be stamping that in Memento Tuxedo Black ink. So there we go. I'm going to have a nice image, and I'm going to adjust my camera and speed up and do the coloring. So to start with, this is R29, and I'm doing the darkest shadows, and then I'm working lighter to R27 and R24. And then this is going to look a little funny. It's W9 and it looks like completely the wrong color, but I'm actually just using it for its dark shading properties. Now I'm using E29, which is my darkest brown, and then I'm coming back in with E59, and then my lightest brown is going to be E57. Sorry about my dog barking in the background. Hope that didn't bother you too much. Okay, now I'm going to overstamp with my VersaFine because I prefer it to the Memento, but I use the Memento just because I was coloring with Copics, and you can see what a nice black line that gives. Now I'm going to clean off my stamp so I can take it off my MISTI, and then I'm going to get back out my sentiment that I put aside earlier, and I'm going to reline that up and make sure that it's straight, and it is, so I pick it up with the cover of the MISTI. And then I'm actually using Stampin' Up's Early Espresso here instead of black. This is a really super dark brown, and I thought it would sort of match with the color of the soy sauce. And when I stamped it the first time, it didn't come out exactly perfect, so I'm going to ink that up again and stamp it again, which is one of the great things about the MISTI. And that came out perfect, so there we go with our focal panel. Okay, now I've got out the Stripe-tastic Rectangles dies. There's a larger version and a smaller version, and I'm using the larger version. It's actually not larger or smaller, it's longer or shorter. They're the same width, actually. So I'm going to take this, and what I have here is a piece of cardstock, the Georgia Pacific, that I've printed out a giant rectangle of just plain black toner. I got that tip from Jennifer McGuire. And I'm going to cut out a piece of this toner cardstock to fit my Stripe-tastic Rectangles die. And I'm actually going to need two of them, so let me cut out another piece. And then what I'm going to do with those is line up the two dies, the outside cutting edge, which makes the rectangle, and then the inner die that makes the diagonal stripes. And I'm going to go run those through my die cut machine, both of them, and I'm going to make sure that, or try and center that inside die at least. Now this is a new bottle, or not new bottle, new tube of Deco foil from ThermaWeb, It comes in 6 by 12 sheets, and there's actually 5 in that tube. And you have to peel them apart very carefully because they're really, really thin. And also handle them very carefully because if they crease, you'll kind of ruin the foil. So here I'm taking my stripes, and then I'm going to take my gold foil and line them up and cut out a piece of foil that's going to be big enough to cover both of them. Now here I've got out my laminator. Here's a piece of parchment paper folded in half, and I'm putting in my 2 toner die cuts and covering with the piece of foil and putting it, looking through on the back to make sure that they don't overlap and that they're completely covered with the foil. And then my green ready light is on, so I can put that through my laminator and wait for it to come out at the other side. Okay, now here's the big reveal, and I'm going to peel off the foil, and there you go, completely foiled die cuts, and they are just absolutely gorgeous. Look at that shine. I just love this foiling. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Eclipse sticky mat that I use sometimes with die cuts to put glue on these, and I tested this out. The Eclipse sticky mat isn't super sticky, which is why I like it, and it's also not so sticky that it's going to pull the foil off of those die cuts. I'm not sure if I used a different sticky mat, if it would pull the foil off the die cuts, or if anything would pull the foil off the die cuts. I'm sure it's possible to scratch it off, but when I tested it with the Eclipse mat, it didn't come off, so I use this to put the glue on the back of my die cuts. And of course I'm using my big chisel tip Zig 2A marker to apply the adhesive, and I'm checking to make sure that I covered it properly, and now I'm carefully peeling it off, and you can see that none of that gold foiling has come off of the die cut. So now I'm just going to arrange it, and of course always open your card so you don't put your things on the wrong panel. And I'm going to arrange the die cut on diagonally, and then I'm going to carefully peel off my other die cut. Again, no foil was taken off in the process, and I'm going to stick it down there. And sorry, my camera battery just died right there, but here I am back again, and I'm going to cut off the excess of the die cuts with my scissors on both sides. Okay, let me just clean up a little here, and then we can move on to our next step, which is the focal panel. And I'm going to pop that up because it's going to be a white focal panel on a white card. I want to pop it up just to give a little separation of the white from the white. I chose not to mat this with a color like red or gold, but you can do that if you want, of course. I'm just choosing to pop it up with tape. And now I'm removing all the backings, and I'm going to stick that to my card. And I am using my MISTI just to keep things straight. I use that grid to help me eyeball things. This is a scrap piece of that quilter's grid, and you can see the little holes I punched in with a 1/16 inch hole puncher, and this is going to help me line up my gumdrops. So I just place it on the corner of my card and draw through with a pencil, and then I have 3 dots that are equally spaced out, and I can put my dots, my gumdrops on those dots. It's not going to be absolutely perfect, but it's going to be better than if I just eyeball it. And then I do it on the bottom corner as well, and I know it's going to be in the same place as the top corner. So there we go. That is our finished card for today. I hope you like it, and I hope we'll see you over at yournextstamp.com. Thanks for watching.